I mean, let's fire our questions there. And of course, we shall be sharing that with you and our panelists much later in the course of the program. With me, I have created first time this morning. Evan Ali, by the way, is a politician. Also, we do have with us Tabitha Mutinda, who's a nominated senator. Dan Manzo will be joining us. And of course, we shall be going on with the conversation at pace. Let's see what is fresh off the press this morning. We begin with the bold paper, and it's all about the protest and Azimio. Pressure is mounting. That is what is being covered on the front page of the Standard today. Pressure mounts on Uhuru over Azimio protest is a splash, as you can see it here right now. And also, I can give you the teaser there. Teen crisis report, millions smoke, drink, skip school. And we are bound to be now a drinking nation. Where are we headed to? Is it frustration? Is it, of course, depression as well? That everyone is taking to the bottle right now. And we are a nation in a drunken stupor, as it were. That is story is covered on page 3 of the Standard today. Russia ends UN-backed grain deal. And of course, this is after the invasion of Crimea. And now we can see there is bound to be a shortage of grain because of this development as it is right now. Everyone should be bracing for this as well. That is the latest development. And we've had also the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, talking about this. And of course, raising concerns about this particular stoppage. Western set to crown new football kings. That story on page 34 and 35 of the Standard this morning. Financial Standard also comes in handy for you every Tuesday. Get all the wiser as far as money is concerned. Hot dims on probes into rising power bills. That is bound to be going up and up and up. And of course, it seems there is no light at the end of the tunnel. That power is going to be getting dimmer and dimmer. Find out why. And that is inside the Standard today. All right, security chiefs have been tasked to investigate the ongoing demonstrations with allegations that the former president could be at the center of the resource mobilization, which so 40 million shillings is what now they're saying is the amount that they are, or the monies that actually they've used to facilitate these demonstrations. And here we can see ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna addressing the press in Nairobi yesterday, where he claimed there was a plan by government to harm Azimio leaders during demonstrations. And so far, security officers or officers have been withdrawn from Raila and his allies. That is the story that you want to follow inside the Standard today. Quest for gold gathers steam. Kenya turns into a conduit of illegal South Sudan treasures. Foreigners rush to Marsabit for precious metal. And Shakahola death toll breaches the 400 mark. And that man, it seems that particular number is bound to be rising ever and ever. And that story is tucked on page 9 of the Standard this morning. This is how it looks. You can grab a copy for yourself. Let's see what we have on the front page of the Daily Nation. Enough is enough. And there is a page 1 comment there. You want to read it, the editorial there. It continues on page 7 of the Daily Nation this morning. People to watch. The country's fate lies in this men's hands. It is decision time. Azimio leader Raila Odinga and President William Ruto have put their feet down on the planned protest. Kenyans will be watching if they will, together with the country's top security chiefs, Kindiki, Haji and Koome, will let the nation slide into anarchy. And that story continues on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation this morning. These are the faces that we'll be looking up to. Remember also, we had the Kenya Kwanza legislator castigating intelligence boss. This is Nurdin Haji, that he's done a sloppy work as far as giving timely intelligence is concerned. And Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has given that particular order that security personnel should be withdrawn from the Azimio leaders. Police Chief Japhet Koome, we are yet to hear from him and what he will say. That is a story that you want to follow again on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. On the sidebar, let's see what we have there. There is a scandal, and MPs are beginning probing into dubious deals at NHIF. You know about it. Members of the public have until Friday to submit their memoranda to Parliament on questionable dealings at the National Health Insurance Fund. The National Assembly has launched public inquiry into the fraudulent payment of medical claims and irregular tendering processes at the insurer. So if you have beef with NHIF, if at all you know there is any stench of corruption there, or you want actually to fight this flowing sea of corruption in this country, to also bring down the dinosaur of corruption, this will be your moment as a Kenyan. You have an opportunity to lance this spoil at the NHIF. You have this story continuing on a page, back page of the Daily Nation, and also Nakumicha sued over promotion of junior doctors. An Uhuru doctor has filed a case at the High Court against Health CS Susan Nakumicha, accusing her of promoting junior officials to senior management positions in the ministry. And this story continues on page 3 of the Daily Nation this morning. It's all about, it's just jumped to the other page. It's all about meritocracy, and this is what they're taking special umbrage with. This is how it looks. The Daily Nation for you. On top there, what austerity? There is a probing question there. Show of opulence at State Board members' induction workshop. What austerity? That story continues on page 8. And we have Djokovic here, who was really frustrated when Alcaraz won and heralded dawn of a new era in tennis. He actually dropped the racket there, and he was fined for it. A good eye-popping figure in pounds as well. Of course, violating the tennis rules there. You can follow the story inside the Daily Nation on page 36. And also, a Healthy Nation comes your way every Tuesday inside the Daily Nation. The Star is up next, and this is what you're waking up to. Headliners, these are the people who are blocking Ruto and Raila truce. Pundits say lieutenants who fear losing relevance are taking extreme positions. And you have the story, tab 5 of the Star this morning, call for dialogue. Constitution guarantees peaceful and unarmed demonstrations. That story continues on page 4 and 5. Now, tourists, remember the wildebeest migration is on. It is always a spectacle, attracting everywhere, every eyeballs from every corner of the world. And here we can see them coming out in force right now for the Wild Wonder tourist waiting at the Masai Mara Game Park along the Sandy River, waiting to witness the migration of wildebeest that crosses to the Kenyan side from Tanzania, that is from the Serengeti to Masai Mara. And that is a story that you want to follow also on the page inside the Star, but this is actually a standalone picture. There's no story there. Okay, top care underutilized. Military hospitals to open doors to civilians to raise revenues for sustainability. And also police chiefs hold crisis meeting in Nairobi over